Good day. As you know, I am Kaylin, and today we're going to be discussing filter groups and filter lookups. Now, what you need to understand is that filter groups is basically the employees specifying which employees the user that logs in may see. So, for argument's sake, you may see certain branches or only certain departments. The employees in those groups, when a user logs in, they may only see those specific groups. Filter lookups is something slightly different. This is when, for argument's sake, you would go to your browse employee screen, and let's say you go to your classifications. You will see then that you can see certain classifications. So let's go to the browse employees just to explain to you what's going on. Let's say change, and we've got our classifications section here. You'll see that when you click on these classifications, you can see certain lookups. So now what you can do with a lookup filter, you can specify, in this case the department, you can specify that a certain user can only see certain departments. So you then filter the actual lookups. So filter lookups is not filtering which employees the user may see, but the actual lookups there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a filter group first, and then from there on we will move to setting up filter lookups. So now what we need to do, you obviously have to have admin rights to be able to edit the user information. In a previous video, we have actually configured an additional user. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and specify a filter group for that user. Now what you need to do before actually setting the filter group on that specific user, you need to go to your group selections and go and actually specify which classifications or departments or companies are actually part of that filter group. So that gets done in your configuration module. So if we move over to there, and we go to employee and group selections, we have obviously all our different classifications set up here. So what we can do is we can go and change on this branch, and in the advanced tab you will see that there's a filter group at the bottom here. So you can go and specify that this filter group, for argument's sake, is 1. Let's go and say the next branch is going to have a filter group of 2. And then a filter group of 3 for the third branch. Now what you can also do is, let's say you're not worried about filtering the actual lookups and that. What you can do is you can also go and say, let's say you want the department admin to also be part of the filter group 1. That means that whenever this user actually logs in and they belong to filter group 1, for argument's sake, they will see the Cape Town branch, and they will see everybody that's in the admin group, regardless of whether they are in the other branches, and that they can see all those groups. What we're going to do now is we're going to simply set up one branch that this employee may see, and from there we'll move on to lookup. So just to verify what we're doing here then, we're going to go and assign this filter group to the new user that we created in the previous video, and I'll log in with that you can just see what information we are seeing. So what I'm going to do now is move over to our user module again, and before I actually access this filter group, I'm going to close this user module. I want you to just see exactly what is happening once we've actually assigned that. So I'm going to open up the user module again, and let's log in with my new user that I created, and you will see then if you go to the browse employee screen, this user can see everybody because I don't have any filter groups assigned to them, so they can see everybody there. Now if we go and assign a filter group to this user, we'll see if we log in, they will only be able to see that filter group. So I need to go into a user that actually has access to that part of the information again. So I'm going to go in with my demo user again, open up the user module for that, and let's go back to our browse users. I am now going to change this user, and I'm going to specify that they need to be part of the filter group, the filter group number 1. So they need to see those employees in that group. So I'm going to click on OK. We'll see that it is part of filter group 1. If I close this screen and I now close the user module again and we're going to log in again with the K user, you will now, or you should at least be able to see only the Cape Town employees now. So let's go and take a look at the browse employee screen, and you'll see we have a lot less employees here. So obviously they are only seeing the employees that's in the Cape Town branch. Just to make sure, if we go to classifications, we will see that they are in fact part of the Cape Town branch. Okay, so that's your filter groups. Pretty easy setting up who this user may see in terms of employees. Now what we want to go do is we want to actually go and filter the lookups that they may see. I, for argument's sake, want this user to only be able to see certain departments and certain companies and that. So we need to go and specify what they may and may not see. So let's just go and set those up then. So if we close this, we now go to our configuration module, and now you need to go and enable that feature first. So you would go to your bells and whistles or your feature screen. You can then go to your enterprise tab. Obviously for the enterprise tab you need to have the enterprise level enabled, and then you would actually tick the filter lookups based on user so that you can go and set that up there. Once something else that you just need to notice in terms of filter groups is if you go to the web tab here, you'll see if you're using the hierarchy system, you're not going to use filter groups, and vice versa. If you're using filter groups, you're not going to use the hierarchy system then either. So that's just something to take note as well. Okay, so we've set that feature on for filter lookups. If we now go to our employee menu, you'll see that there's a lookup filters button there. So you can go and add a filter to this now. So let's go and add one. And now what you need to remember here is this code of the lookup filter needs to be exactly the same as whatever the filter group number is that you've specified under your group selections. So if you're setting up a filter group for Durban, for argument's sake, and a lookup filter for Durban, you need to make sure that that code is exactly the same. I just want to change this to a 3 now. See, I set that to a 1 again. So let's change this to 3. So we've got branch Cape Town is 1, Durban is 2, Johannesburg is 3. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we're going to set up one for Cape Town then, and we're going to call this the CPT filter group. You can filter lookup, sorry. You can go and name that whatever you want that. And then I need to specify what information may this user see. So I want them to see the company, but only the ABCD group. I don't want them to see the FG group. You can go and specify whether you want them to only see the Cape Town branch. And then obviously departments, you can go and specify if you want them to see admin and technical, and let's put marketing in there. And then also you want them to only see level 1 and 2. So you can work through all your classifications there. You can work through your HR, your leave, what leave types they may see, the access control, their shifts, you can also specify that. And then there's some others in terms of cards and clocks as well that you can set. So once you've gone and set then your lookup filters rights here, you can click on close, and now when you log in with that user you should only be able to see those specific lookups. So I'm going to close this again. Let's close the user again. Let's go back to our user module and log in with our K user, and we can just check what all we can see there. Okay, so obviously on a previous occasion you saw that I had the Johannesburg set to the filter group 1 as well. So we should see a lot less employees here now because we're only seeing the Cape Town group now. So very important to make sure those filter groups are set up correctly. In terms of lookup filters, if we just click on change, and in this case I've set a whole lot of classifications here, we can see that we can only see the company ABCD group. If we go through all the rest that we set, you'll see you can only do Cape Town, and let's say the category for argument's sake only see level 1 and 2. So you can specify what they can see then. So that's pretty simple then. If you want to just neaten up these lists a little bit more and the shifts and all the other things that you can set, you don't have to set up lookup filters if you don't want to. If you simply just want to restrict who they may see, you can do that. And then obviously you can also, as in with the previous video, you can set then the access rights to those specific screens as well. So that's filter groups and lookup filters. Pretty simple to set them up. You just need to understand how that, how the two work together. And very important, like I said before, remember that the filter group code and the lookup filter codes are exactly the same, that they match there. Otherwise you're going to have some, you're going to say it doesn't work, some conflicting data there because it doesn't work there. And that's filter groups and lookups. I hope that you've learned something and that you will join me next time. Goodbye.